Hi everyone, it's Gina from Gina K Designs and welcome back to another Foil It Friday video. Today I'm going to show you how to do a 2-for-1 card project featuring Poly-Glaze Sheets and Gina K Designs Fancy Foil by ThermOWeb. First I'm going to show you how I like to cut and store my fancy foils. So this is the 14 karat Fancy Foil by Gina K Designs and ThermOWeb, and you get 20 sheets of 6x8 foil. This is enough to make 40 different card projects. Now what I'm going to do here is I've got a quilting mat and I'm going to take all of the foil out of this package and I'm going to place it on the quilting mat up against one of the squares on the mat. Then I'm going to count 4 squares over. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to use a quilting ruler and a rotary cutter. And I'm going to cut this entire pack of foil with just one cut. So I'm going to go right up against the ruler. And now all of my foil is perfectly cut and sized for our Poly-Glaze sheets. So I'm going to pick all these up. That's 40 sheets of 14 karat foil. And I like to keep the insert and pop these inside the insert and then this whole thing into a stamp pocket, storage pocket. And this way I can see exactly what's in there because I've got the index sheet and I've got 40 pieces of foil ready to go. So for today's card project, I'm going to be using 4 of our new Poly-Glaze sheets. I'm going to start with the Petite Flourish. You can see this beautiful design, Petite Flourish. And then I also have the Coneflower Garden. I have the Grateful Greetings. And then I have the Thanks Greetings. They're just called Grateful and Thanks. And you can see these designs are printed in a light gray and then they've got a poly-glaze coating on top. I like to use a Swiffer duster to dust off my poly-glaze sheets because any little speck of dust can prevent foiling to foil where you want it. And then I also like to Swiffer the back of the foil. You want to get rid of all of the dust. And a Swiffer duster doesn't just move it around. It actually clings to the duster and takes it off of your design. Now I'm going to place this inside the mink carrier sheet, and I've also got an extra piece of cardstock in there just to make things a little bit tighter. I've got my mink set to setting 4. Now I used to always use setting 3, but I found that setting 4 actually works a little bit better for the Poly-Glaze. And while that one's going through, I'm going to do the Grateful Greeting. So once again, I'm using the Swiffer duster, and I'm going to get a piece of foil and use the Swiffer duster on the back of the foil. I'm placing that on top, and that's going to be ready to go into my carrier sheet once this one is done. So I'm going to let this one sit and cool for a minute. And I'm going to pop this into the carrier sheet. And then again, folded side in first, I'm going to send it through the mink. Now while that's going through, we can peel and reveal this beautiful Petite Flourish design. Look how nicely that foiled. Every little bit is covered and the shine is just spectacular. Now I'm going to prepare the Coneflower Garden sheet, and again I'm going to Swiffer the back of my foil as well as that Coneflower Garden sheet and then lay them together, and then that's going to go inside my carrier sheet. Now sometimes if I've been foiling a couple of things right in a row, I will wait and let the machine just heat back up. Even though that green light is on, it's been busy. So I'm going to let it just sit for a minute and heat back up. And we'll peel this one first. Look at how beautiful those greetings turned out. And those are actually fairly chunky greetings, and they just did a beautiful job. The Poly-Glaze did a beautiful job with that foil. And now that the mink has had a chance to heat up again, I'm going to send that through. Now, if the mink isn't hot enough, it'll tell you, it'll turn red, but I still like to heat it up after I've done a couple passes. You can see here, you can use this negative piece either on toner paper or you can use adhesive and put it on white cardstock, and look how beautiful that is. It looks so pretty, so you don't have to waste any of those negative pieces. Pick up some ThermOWeb toner paper and then also try using it on white cardstock with a little adhesive at the top and the bottom. All right, now we're going to do the final one, the thanks greeting. And again, I'm prepping it with the Swiffer duster, and then I'm going to send it through in the carrier sheet, folded side first. Now, if you don't have a carrier sheet, you can also use the ThermOWeb carrier sheets. They're silicone lined and they work the same way. So I'm going to peel and reveal this beautiful Coneflower Garden, and look at that design. That is so pretty. This never gets old. Peeling foil never gets old. It always looks spectacular and it's just so much fun. And there are the thanks greetings. So now it's time to do a little ink blending, and I'm going to be using 4 colors here. I'm going to do 2 of the colors on one design and 2 of the colors on the other design. So I'm going to start with the Coneflower Garden, and my first color is Honey Mustard. I'm using Honey Mustard to blend ink at the top of this panel. So I'm going to go about halfway down with Honey Mustard, and then on the other side I'm going to switch to the Sweet Mango. Now after you've inked up the card, you want to make sure that you rub off any excess ink. And you can see ink blending did not disturb that beautiful foil at all. Now on the other side here, I'm using Sweet Mango, and I'm having them meet in the middle. And then once I have Sweet Mango on one side and Honey Mustard on the other side, I'll be ready to start my next panel. So for this panel, I'm starting with Prickly Pear, and Prickly Pear is a little bit of a greener yellow, where Honey Mustard is a little bit of a warmer yellow. And then on the other side, I'm finishing it off with some Jelly Bean Green. So now that I have my panels finished, it's time to do a little bit of die cutting. I'm going to use Master Layouts 11, and I'm going to be using 2 of the dies from this set. I'm going to be using the open window die, and then I'm going to be using this die that looks like 4 postage stamps stuck together. Now the one that looks like the postage stamps, I've cut out with some charcoal brown cardstock, and you can see all that beautiful detail. So these are going to be my back panels, and then I am going to cut the polyglazed panels using the open window design. So I'm centering that on there, and then I'm going to cut it, and you'll see 2 yellow panels at the top drop out and 2 Sweet Mango panels at the bottom. But look at this cool frame. That's all foiled, and that looks beautiful. So I'm going to put these 2 aside, and then I'm going to cut the other one as well. Now that all of those are cut, I'm going to cut my greetings. For the thanks, I'm using the Thanks and Shadow die set, and I'm just using the shadow die. The shadow die, well, these Poly-Glaze sheets were designed to work with the Thanks and Shadow die, but all you need is the shadow to cut out the beautiful foiled greeting. And look how pretty that is. So I've done the same thing with the Grateful die, and I used the Grateful and Shadow and used the shadow for that. And now I'm going to adhere these panels onto the postage stamp panel. And this is how I'm getting my 2 for 1. I only had to colorize 2 of the Poly-Glaze sheets in the 2 different designs. And then once everything was cut out, it allows me to make 2 separate cards. And you can see in my layout here, I am actually putting the coneflowers on opposite corners and the Petite Flourish on opposite corners to mix it up a little bit. And I think that gives it a really pretty look, and all of those colors are so nice for fall. Now you can do this same exact kind of thing with Christmas colors. Maybe do reds on one, one corner and green on the other and a brilliant blue on the other, and you can really create some beautiful holiday cards. So now I'm just popping these panels onto these white card bases. And then I'm going to add my greetings. Now we have lots of Poly-Glaze designs in our collection, so some may be more appropriate for the holidays, for Christmas. I think these will be beautiful for Thanksgiving cards. And the other thing that I really like about these is all the sparkle and shine is in the Poly-Glaze and the foil, so you really don't need a lot of embellishments, which makes these very inexpensive to mail. These will go just for the price of a stamp. And if you like to send Thanksgiving cards or you like to send Christmas cards, this layout is great for either one of those, especially if you're doing a lot of them. You don't have to worry about extra postage or special mailers or anything like that. And so here are my finished cards. Let's take a look at that shine. I really, really love foiled cards. And the grateful is just as pretty. Well, those are my finished cards, and I hope you enjoyed today's Foil It Friday video, and I hope you'll give these techniques a try. Stay tuned to my channel for more Foil It Friday videos, more 5-minute card videos, and more Stampin' Chat live videos too. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again real soon.